The Portuguese man-of-war is not uncommon in these waters, but it is unusual for so many to wash up at once. The recent severe weather has stranded a number of them on beaches such as Camp Bay, giving people a rare close-up look at these intricate, colourful colonies of creatures, often mistaken for jellyfish.
So in the case of the jellyfish, what you have is one animal. All the parts belong to the same animal. In the case of the Portuguese man-of-war, being a hydroid, it's a colony. And each animal is specialized to a certain function. So you have the float, the bladder, you've got animals that are specialized in reproduction, others that are specialized in feeding, and some that are specialized in defense. 4 polyps in total, polyp types in total. And what you see, that we all consider one animal, is in fact that colony that gets pushed around by the wind, which is different to jellyfish, right? Because jellyfish actually, they move themselves.
It's not the first time that this happens. Portuguese man-of-war have been commonly sort of washing up in our beaches before, and it boils down to the fact that we've had a series of southwesterly storms recently. So the combination of oceanographic conditions and met conditions have resulted in the currents bringing these animals in from the Atlantic.
Part of it is the storms that have brought so many to our shores in the last couple of days, but it's also a fact of other things taking place in the ocean. For example, the reduction in the number of turtles that there have been due to plastic pollution. And as we know, the turtles are eating the plastic bags, and and their food source is actually the jellyfish and the hydroids. So they're great eaters of Portuguese man-of-war, and if we've got less of them, we've got more Portuguese man-of-war.
So what should you do if you find a Portuguese man-of-war, either on land or in the water?
Well, they shouldn't touch them. That's the first thing. I mean, if you're on the beach and you come across them, leave them where they are, and obviously inform the authorities. We've got a dedicated environmental number that the public can phone in. When you come across a Portuguese man-of-war at sea, that's a totally different issue, because the Portuguese man-of-war has very long tentacles. Some of them can reach up to 30 meters in length, so therefore extra care needs to be taken. In the unfortunate event that somebody is stung by a Portuguese man-of-war, the best advice is not to touch the tentacles with the hands. They can be removed with, for example, a plastic card or gloves, ideally. The tentacles can also be washed out with seawater, and obviously you need to seek medical assistance as soon as possible.
With strong winds and waves on the way yet again this week, there may be more sightings of the Portuguese man-of-war before the stormy season is over.